Today I'm going to work on the Remember comic that should already be done by now, but it's not. And I really want to finish it within the next few days, as long as I can actually get time to work on it. So for now, um, it's just my littlest and I, and he's napping. So I was thinking that I would record working on the comic and overlay some music, so maybe you guys could draw with me or, I don't know, watch. And that's kind of the point. um, I suppose I'm using this as sort of a accountability to make time to work on the comic, which shouldn't be a problem because it's fun once I actually start, but getting started is kind of the hard part, especially if I feel like I'm not going to have enough time, I'm going to be interrupted or something. So hopefully I won't get interrupted, but we'll see. I only actually worked on the comic for about 15 minutes because my eyes kept not wanting to focus, and I had to stop about 3 times to do eye exercises to get them working again. And I'm going to go see an optometrist to see if there's something that can be done about that. Because I can't work for very long. My eyes get tired really quickly. So I started again in the morning because that's when I can work for the longest before my eyes start to get tired. And I was able to do pretty good, about 30, 40 minutes. I started doing it just kind of slow and steady, where I'd work on it every morning, making sure I'd do at least one panel. And it ended up taking me about 2 weeks, so a lot longer than I anticipated. But I think the slow and steady is pretty good, especially if I can't work that long. I'm at least getting closer to it being done. I've been thinking about what I want to do for 2016. Wow, that's way off. 2026. And how I want to focus more on comics. My original plan for my first year on YouTube, which will end in April, the very end of April, I wanted to do 24 comics, and I've only done 6, maybe 7 now. So to try and achieve that number of comics, one thing, they're going to be a lot shorter, more like a comic strip in a newspaper. And instead of doing kind of solo studies where I'm working on proportion, I want to do that within the context of a comic. For the 2-point perspective, I want to pick a frame where I'm imagining it in 2-point perspective, and then kind of show how I'm figuring it out, hopefully. It's a little harder to record and talk at the same time now because it's winter and it's cold. It's 27 degrees right now, but it gets down to negatives at night. And so kids don't want to go outside to play for very long. So I don't have very much time where I can talk alone inside because I don't want to talk with a bunch of people around. Right now I'm sitting outside and it's hailing a little bit, but I'm under trees, so it's not so bad. And so I'm going to try doing voiceovers instead. I hope it's okay. It's certainly another thing that I have to figure out and try and get better at. I also want to really utilize thumbnails and storyboarding, depending on what you want to call it, because they're a good opportunity to kind of decide how to pose the panel, the different viewpoint or the different poses of the characters. And I haven't been doing that as much as I would like. I started doing a lot more because I didn't do it at all in the beginning. And I want to try using the thumbnails to kind of see what sort of shading, try different techniques of shading, because I want to do the hatching. And I thought about using it in this comic, but I didn't know how to do it on the shelves because I don't know, it seemed like right here I'm shading it with a colored pencil. And I thought about the hatching, but I don't know how to do it where it would look good and not just get overly saturated with ink in a way. And having the lines going in different directions so it wouldn't get really muddled. So I'm going to test out the different shading techniques and probably do a lot more research and then try them in the thumbnail, even though it'll all be really rough. At least that way I can kind of see a little bit if it'll look okay. So my plan is to record sort of the figuring out part of the comic and see if I can make that interesting instead of just recording me doing the comic. Some people make it kind of interesting to watch them do it, but I think you need to be more skilled because I'm just trying to figure everything out, and it takes a long time because I don't know exactly how to position the arm. Like earlier with the guy who was getting up to go to the bus, I had his arm outstretched in the back, and I couldn't figure out how to make him kind of wave in that position. It just looked bizarre. So I just put his hand in his pocket. Since I'm trying to figure everything out, and everything's a bit of a struggle in a way, in a good way, I assume people are here to, I guess, kind of commiserate with that learning process. So I'm hoping that by focusing more on the process and not so much on the finished product, then it will be more interesting to you viewers. If anyone has any tips or ideas on how things that they would like or don't particularly like, I'm totally open to your input. So that's really it. My plans for 2026 is just going to be focus on comics and basically just do comics so that way I can get used to drawing and working within the confines of comics. And I want to get to where it's comfortable because I watched a little short of Disney animators drawing, and they're so smooth and quick and precise. And that can only really occur with practice over a really long time. And I know I'm not going to get there very quickly, but that's my goal. So if I just focus on this, I'm hoping that I will get there faster. And I've already noticed an improvement in my drawing abilities. So I'm looking forward to seeing how things will progress at the end of 2026. Long time from now. Thank you for watching. Happy New Year. Bye.